Oh my goodness. Hello. I'm going to unplug this. So hold on one second. I have two screens here. So I'm going to unplug and lift up. Good morning, wherever you are. Good afternoon. Good morning. If you're watching the replay of this, whatever time of day is it. My name is Beth Osmer, and welcome to the Spiritual Warrior YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do. And we are building it and bringing our message out to the world. Okay, so I want to talk about AI today. Now, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on AI. What I am going to share with you is that all I can go off is how AI makes me feel and the things that I have read about what's coming down the pike. When COVID hit for me, there was just something that just didn't feel right. There was something off about it for me. It woke me up in ways I can't even begin to tell you. It was like layers of things that were in my way of seeing things through a very clear lens just released when that came out. And now we're in this phase with AI, and it feels the exact same way to me, that something just doesn't feel right. So let me give an example with the AI. Here's a question I want to ask with AI, and it's coming. It's already here, and it's like a freight train that's not going to stop. The only thing that we have in our arsenal, if you want to, get on the AI bandwagon, awesome, go for it. But if you feel like there's something off with it, then the only thing that we have in our arsenal is our choice. We can choose to engage with it, or we can not choose to engage with it. Now, we're choosing to engage with it all the time with our phones. Let me tell you a really quick story. Yesterday, or the day before yesterday, I'm putting a summit together. So I'm interviewing 18 people, and I'm looking for a wealth coach, someone who can come on to the summit. It's about connection, and talk about connection to money and connection to wealth. And I had a very specific avatar in my mind. I thought what I wanted, who I was looking for. And so I went on Instagram and I put wealth coach into the search engine. Now, this is all in my head. I haven't written about it. I didn't talk about it. I only thought it. Every person that came up on my feed as a possible expert was exactly what I thought. Exactly. And it was specific. It wasn't like, I just want a wealth coach and random people came up. It was a very specific person. So about, I don't know, 10 people were shown to me, and it was the exact avatar that I thought in my head. AI is with us. AI is here. It's not going to go anywhere soon, but it's like, what level do we want to play on it and the reason there's something that rubs up against me personally is because of the longer we engage in it, the longer and the more we amp up in it. So thinking of like virtual reality, the chat GPT, all these things that are coming down the pike, the more we engage in it, the more we begin to unwind from what it really means to be human. And it's like, here's the biggest question I'd love for you to think about. And what I'm thinking about is the AI, let's say robot doctors, chat GPT, all this like AI stuff that makes us look like fake humans, perfect skin, all of this stuff, it like really goes into our narcissistic energy, like our ways of being. Every human being here, we all have some sort of narcissism. It's built in, right? Like the way we look. I did my hair yesterday, like all of it. But like these apps that get you looking beautiful and transhuman and no wrinkles on your skin and all of that, it's playing into our narcissistic ways. So let me ask you this. Is AI bringing us closer to our human nature, or is it going to bring us further away from our human nature? And if it brings us further away from our human nature, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? One thing that's out right now is this chat GPT. I refuse to engage in it. That is my personal opinion. I have my own coaching business. It would probably make my life a lot easier if I could go onto an app and write out what I want to talk about and have chat GPT spit it out. That that would make my life very, very easy. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want an app, some AI programming to take my authentic creative thoughts and put it into some programming and spit out something else and serve it to people as my own creative writing. And it's starting slow, right? Like with chat gpt and these apps that make us look like non-human and like perfect, but it's not going to stop. And again, the question that you want to ask yourself is it going to bring us closer to being authentic humans? And my personal opinion is it's not. It's not. And I don't know if that's the goal. I'm not sure if that's the goal. Let's think about doctors right now. Many people are going through surgeries or have been in the hospital lately, particularly since COVID, have talked about how the medical industry has lost its compassion. What little compassion it had, it's fading. It's fading. Now I've only been in the hospital one time with my daughter since COVID, and that she was in a children's hospital, and the doctors were they were awesome. The nurses were awesome. But it was in a children's hospital. However, it was in a teaching hospital. So every morning, 10 doctors would come in and like take notes and basically treat her as if she was like a subject and non-human. And that was mild compared to what's going on in other hospitals. So a lot of people I've talked to has said, doctors are losing their compassion, the little compassion that they have. And they're trained to not feel, right? Because if they're doing a surgery on someone's heart, they can't let their emotions get in the way. They have to be able to be precise and get it done and get the job done. Now, if we bring robots into surgery and have robots doing our surgery, the little human connection we have is gone. It's gone. And humans, it's like, what really thinking about what is the real agenda here? And I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. Here's the thing I know: we don't need things to be any easier than they are. Everything is at our convenience. TV, phone, we push a button, microwaves, everything in the modern world, in first world countries and in many other countries, everything is convenient. Why do we need this? Why do we need more distraction? So, the reason I wanted to do this live is because personally, my spidey sense, my intuition is every ounce of my being is telling me there's something off with it. And you can choose to engage with it or not. And every day I'm engaging with some kind of energy on my phone every day. And I know it's messed up and there's an energy. There's an energy. And I just told you the story of like I had a thought and my phone spit it out, gave me exactly what I wanted to see. And I didn't even have to speak it out loud. These things are going to be very intuitive and they're coming down the pike. And like I said, what I see happening and what my guides have shown me happening is we're just going to have a split. It's already happening. The split's already here, but it's going to get more divided. Those that are going to stay connected to nature, to our soul, humanness, to what makes us absolutely wonderful is compassion, our ability to think, our ability to feel, our ability to connect with nature, our intuition, and we start to lose that stuff because we're engaging with a synthetic energy such as AI, and we're going to lose it. And I was reading this quote yesterday, and it just made so much sense to me. It was like there's going to be less and less true creativity the more AI comes with us. So thinking about Chat GPT, and I have ex coaches of mine that I paid that are really into Chat GPT. Like they're teaching workshops on how to use Chat GPT to create content for your business. For me, this quote made so much sense. It's like there's going to be very little true, authentic creativity left because people are starting to actually be suspicious. That show, Ted Lasso, I actually did watch that show. It was really cute. Ted Lasso, so many people thought one of the characters on there was CG. Like they didn't even believe because he looked perfect. They thought he was computer generated CG because of the way he looked. Like we're losing our faith of like, are we watching a robot or a computer generated human being, or are we actually watching a real human being? That's scary to me. That's scary to me. You know, police officers that are becoming robots. We all saw, I hope you saw The Matrix. We saw The Matrix. The Matrix was about the machines versus humans. And in the Matrix, they were fighting for their humanness because the more people got into the energy of the machines needed the human vibration to survive. And I know this is fiction, but a lot of stuff in Hollywood, yeah, it's fiction, but they're telling us what's coming down the pike. They're absolutely telling us what's happening for real. And the Matrix was made, I don't know, a decade ago or something, the first one, maybe even longer, but we're going to see this stuff coming. So here's what I want to leave you with is like, you can choose. You can choose. My husband works for Sony PlayStation, the video games, right? That's like all fantasy, right? And it's huge moneymaker, right? He has a good job. It's huge moneymaker. But we don't own a TV. And my mother-in-law was just here recently, and she's like, how is this possible? Like, how does Peter work for a major video game company and not own a TV? Because it's choice. Like, he doesn't need to play the video games to be a producer of the video games or to be a manager. He has to know what they're about, but he doesn't need to play them. So it's choice. What do you want to engage in? And I'm telling you, with your phones, we're already doing it. So at what level do you want to? And if you feel like it's cool and it's awesome, go for it. But feeling into, and I think this is a powerful question, what's going to bring us closer to our soul human nature, or what brings us further away? When I lived in San Francisco, we moved to Arizona a little over a year ago. The AI cars, the self-driving cars are all over the city. It looked dystopian. They were everywhere. I'm not exaggerating, probably 10 a day. Probably 10 a day. Here in Phoenix, I've seen one. Doesn't mean they're not coming to Arizona, but and there were also robot security guards in San Francisco too, in parking garages, robots like with little police things. That started years ago. So for me, as a spiritual warrior and someone who deeply cares about being human and being authentic and creativity, this is something to be aware of. This is something it's a stand for your creativity. And just noticing, not judging, but just noticing. That app that creates all of that makes us look transhuman, but it's beautiful and pretty and it's artistic. Why do we need that? And what is the app playing into? And that app in particular has apparently stolen like real artists' work and compiled it into a computer generated image. So as this coming down, it's not going to stop. And they're talking about smart cities now and all of these things that take us further away from nature, further away from the elements, and further away from what it means to be a soul led, intuitive, creative being. Really feeling into like what's going to work for you, what's going to work for your family, and knowing that we're always at choice. We're always at choice. And I don't, this is my opinion, you can take it or leave it. I do not feel that these apps and this AI and this chat GPT and all that stuff, I do not feel like it is divinely led. I do not feel like that. That is my intuition. It feels the opposite. The closer we can, it's going to get wacky in the next few years. There's a lot of agenda out there and it's going to get wacky. So the more that we can stand in our divinity, stay close to God, close to our creative genius, on our authenticity, get outside, watch the birds, watch, be out in nature, feel the air, feel the earth. We're going to be okay, but we can make that choice. We can make that choice. We already got it with the phones. I swear they know what we're thinking. It's crazy. So that's what I'll leave you with. I haven't been reading the chat. Oh, Laura's saying smart cities, 15-minute cities are being implemented in England already. So I don't know too much about it, but what I read about the 15-minute smart cities is they want to create these little like bubble cities where everything is in within 15 minutes of walk. You could walk to the store, you can walk here, you can walk to the park, but they want to keep everyone contained. That's what I've heard. And like less and less, further and further away from nature. So just be aware. It's not about being paranoid. It's not about being nervous or scared. It's just about being aware. That's it. And making your own choice. And it could be all of this could be light you up, but really feeling into your intuition and what it is that you as a human being want to play in. What game do you want to play in here on earth? And personally, I'm moving further. I just want to be next to nature. I want to be closer to my creativity, closer to God, and be aware of what's coming down the pipe. All right. My name is Beth Osmer. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And I will see you next Tuesday on here. Okay. Have a wonderful, I'm going to read your comments and I'm going to hop off and have a wonderful evening. Well, it's morning here. Have a wonderful day, evening. I talk to my plants. Oh, I love that, Maria. You're welcome, Laura. I love that. Let's talk to our plants and our animals, not our phones. Hi, Wendy. All right. Have an amazing rest of your day.